Hi everyone, it's SP. Please excuse the clutter in the back. I just wanted to come in today and record a video, pick a card reading once more. I wanted to do something with my Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. As you know, that these Dorian Virtue Oracle cards, they're now out of print. I was able to get my hands on one of them, and I wanna express gratitude by kind of creating this pick a card reading for everyone. It's not going to be a very extensive kind of reading. I'm not going to use tarot. I'm just going to pick a bunch of different cards from this deck, and I'm going to kind of freestyle a bit, and wishing everyone a blessed Vijay Dashami. To everyone in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. And with that, I'm going to show you the three piles. The first pile is Green Thada. Second pile is a goddess called the Mara. And third pile is Ishtar. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some time to kind of tune into these cards, and thank you for being patient with me while I kind of struggle with like setup and things like that. The reason that I just do these in a very like amateur fashion is because I read somewhere anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. All right, so those of you that picked the green Thara, start delegating. Let's dive into your reading, eh? Okay, so this card says it's a beautiful healing green, first of all, and it has that signature serenity on Thara's face, and she has a multitude of colors around her. She's beautiful ornaments, and her relaxation is what truly stands out to me. And the card says, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So, friends, it might be that you're someone that has taken on too much, bitten more than you can chew, and you're struggling and perhaps even struggling to admit that you might be struggling. So, you might be experiencing things like burnout, fatigue, irritability, perhaps just a general air of resentment towards other people, that you can't explain. It could be that you've invited somehow into your life a lot of responsibility, and now you're like, wait, SP, I mean, who invites this into their life? And it's very valid. But we're all always kind of communicating with the world around us. Everything's alive. And in some ways, if not through vibration, but through subtle microscopic actions, we might be signaling to others around us that we don't want their help and we don't want them included in the processes in our lives, or that we fear that if people see us struggling, it's going to be embarrassing for us, and we won't be held by people. We're just going to be questioned by them or labeled stupid. And I hear you, I see you. Um if you if you've been pushed into enough of a corner in life that you believe that's the only response you can get out of people. But I think the fact that this card is here, it's a small message from the universe to start opening up your heart to the fact that you are held, to the fact that you are in fact cherished and valued, and your life has inherent value, not just the things that you earn, accumulate, or your status. I'm gonna pull some more cards from this beautiful deck and enhance the message, enhance the flavor of this lovely dialogue coming through, Okay. You have Dana, the High Priestess. She's also, by the way, she's on the cover of the deck too, and I think she has a very haunting quality to her. Oh, strange. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. Hmm. Okay, even if you are somebody, some of you, it might resonate to in a very like boom, boom, literal way, right? And others of you, you might be like, I'm not actually that spiritual. I'm not, I wouldn't consider myself as involved as other people or as read up on scripture and that kind of thing, whatever scripture might mean for you. Or new age books or whatever your circles are looking at as benchmarks, right? And to you, I want to say gently that there's there's things that people can read in books, and for certain, some of the books, depending on which book it is, there's credibility in knowing the details that go into it. And other people, sometimes there's like to turn information, which is basically what we can get out of a book, right? Is information into insight, into knowledge, into something that's applied. You need like a chemical change inside your like your being, The best knowledge is that which alters you. Perhaps you're just one of those people. You're not very vocal about your beliefs. You're not very loud or in your face. Maybe you are about other areas of life, but this one, maybe you just take a backseat and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. And maybe you can actually suss out who's genuine and who's not genuine. And I want to say to you, if you're someone that hasn't met many people before, and their whole gig is that they quote books at you, they quote scripture at you, or they quote various instances to one up you, that's not what a spiritual person is. You, as an individual, have the right to define what something means in your own life and how you apply it. You have agency. And how this is related perhaps to this like green Tara card is maybe you're not inviting, because she says, ask me for help, ask the spirits around you, or ask your spirit team, what we call it, for help, you might be hesitating to pray because you feel like you won't be answered, or there's like some hierarchy. People who are X amount religious, God will answer them first, and then there's another hierarchy that people who read so much per day, they're gonna get answered. It's nothing like that, God doesn't have like a leaderboard, not a billboard. It's just something that you can access because it's a force, it's a connection. Some somebody said somebody once elaborated on the spelling of God as generating, ordering, delivering, energy. And I hope I'm remembering it right. And so it's just energy. So just tune in, tap in, and stop thinking about what people are going to say when you finally tell them, I can't do this. Maybe they're gonna react badly, but like that's what bad people do. That's what happens in the movies, but you don't, when you're watching the movie, you don't tell the good guy like, oh no, definitely just give in to the villain. No, you root for the hero. So you're the hero of your life. You can't just give in to the bad guys. And in real life, of course, like the phonies and the bad guys, they don't have like a theme song behind them and they don't do the obvious things, but they're still nefarious. You can't let them win over you. What's wrong? Okay. So with that, I'm gonna end it. Well, maybe the last thing that I would say is if you're overworked, if you're stressed out and you don't even feel certain about spiritual help, just sit with yourself for a little bit and tell yourself, affirm to yourself that you're worthy, you know, and just see how that shifts things around for you and what kind of momentum that generates. Okay, little pause. Then we move on to this lovely card too. So people who pick the Damara card, it's your time. Okay, so this Damara card says, I hope I'm saying her name right. Anyway, guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. Again, for some of you, this might land in a very, because the thing about spirituality is that things can be coded, right? There's a little bit of symbolism, code, subconscious speak going on there. Maybe children in this case is people's inner child. Maybe maybe you're actually someone that works in a daycare or as a babysitter or things like that, and how beautiful, or a teacher. Um, or maybe you're just somebody who's like into therapy, alternative therapy, something which really reassures people's inner child or inner children, you know? In either way, I feel like you need this reassurance, or maybe you're somebody in other specific cases, maybe you're just thinking about what kind of parent you'll be, even if you're not really looking to become one right away. This is kind of your sign that, yeah, you will be a good and worthy and notable guide for the children that you're seeking to welcome into your life, whatever period of time. There's something profound, impactful, strong, and incredibly amazing that you have to pass on in this life. So don't hesitate, you know, like don't hesitate. Don't second guess yourself. And I'm going to pull some cards for you. In the first group, I just got like one more additional oracle card because I'm not doing tarot. I'm just doing this oracle deck. Um, yeah, I didn't get, but I feel like for your group, I might take on like a second oracle card as well. So yeah. Okay, this is very interesting. So your first card is Sedna, Infinite Supply. She's an Inuit goddess, I believe, and oh, this is so sweet, guys. It's Isolde, Undying Love. So I'll read both of them out. The Sedna card, by the way, it matches my outfit. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. And Isolde, the love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. How beautiful, how potent. You know, perhaps there's also somewhere, those of you that a specific case, or maybe even in the case where you're trying to connect with children or, you know, manifest a pregnancy, um, there's some kind of thing here about before you can really proceed to speak to children on a wholesome level, there's a need to go back in time, but not to be nostalgic, but to connect with the part of you that was a believer, that kept believing, you know, and maybe that child didn't get justice, you feel, was left out in the cold a lot and doesn't believe that there's enough to go around for everyone, or that it's not worthy of undying love. But the truth is that all of us have souls. We're more than our bodies, you know, unless you're an atheist and you don't believe. In that case, I don't want to offend your beliefs, but this is what I think, right? We're all worthy of and have access to this treasure of undying love because our physical forms are just an enhancement, and they're a tool to navigate this like beautiful earth school, which is like teaching us some sort of lesson about the infinite nature of our being through these finite forms that are um, prone to decay, death, whatever it is, right? But there's a part of you that's very abundant, undying, and has access to so much creativity. And maybe this is like you know, you want creativity in your life. You want the joie de vivre. Oh my God, I am so bad at that. Joie de vivre. Yeah, joy of living, something like that. Yeah. You want more of that in your life, and you're just not confident that you can manifest it. And you don't see how you can possibly magnetize that into your life because you might be thinking that everything in my life I've had to kind of force so far. Therefore, it might just be that nothing out there really loves me, because if something did, then I would just get all this bounty and supply. And I hear you, but sometimes it's just a case of, like in pile one, about asking for help. For you, you also need to choose yourself first. And you need to take decisions that kind of empower you to be feeling rich about yourself, not materially rich, but just, I have just that I have an inner resource of resilience, strength, resolve that can get me through any kind of tough time. Maybe the inner child you need to console at this point is yours before you can go on and especially if you're looking for a love match right now, maybe both of you have like this energy where you're both kind of like terrified children inside, and like that's completely valid because look at the world we kind of are in and have grown up in, and it's not always a kind world, and we have to create that narrative for ourselves where we choose to believe in love, we choose to believe in connection, and we manifest that by holding steadfast to it. And trust me, there's like an innocence in you, a vulnerability that's willing to be shown, and it's gonna lead you to connect in the right and potent ways that you need to. Everything that you need will come. Okay, so that being said, there's pile three now. Pile three, Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Okay. I'm sensing a theme here between pile one and, you know, I almost feel like there might be some people that just want to go through all the piles, one, two, and three. Fair enough, these readings are not really long, and I'm not telling you like other readings that I might go more in depth. There things are not necessarily contradicting one another, but still, just choose what resonates for you. With this card, Ishtar is really bold and brave, and she's able to go where nobody else does, and she doesn't really ask for permission. And the reason she's so self-assured, sorry, is because she knows her worth, and that empowers her to not enter situations that are degrading her, you know? Yes, she did go underground and she had to face those trials, but that was a form of spiritual evolution. You, in your life, beyond a point, you experiencing pain at the hand of others, you're kind of allowing and indulging them to indulge in their vices, and it's not good on your part too. Just draw the line. Just draw the line and gently tell them at least that it's not in your hand, it's not something that you're comfortable with. Your life is not necessarily beholden to others, regardless of what attitude your parents had when you were born. Maybe they thought you were a burden and they were like, oh, you better listen to me because you're born and I take care of you and I do so much for you. Therefore, you do exactly what I say. Um, that's not how this works. You have agency, you have freedom, you have the world at your feet if you know what you're looking for, if you know how to connect the dots. And you can't really connect the dots and be intuitive unless there's things that you say no to. Subtraction is an essential part of accumulation too, or how people that fine-tune processes for industries and firms and companies uh like how do I say this in a way that's not boring? They they have to know what to cut out in order to improve something existing, like a data entry system or like a calculation system or something like that. You have to have things that you remove from your life, clutter that you remove from your life. Because without that, for instance, the books on my bookshelf, they are not randomly sourced, right? I've put lots of thought into collecting every one of them, and they say something about my personality. They say something about my interests. Similarly, the things that you do with your time, they have to reflect you. They have to reflect your interests. If you spend most of your time doing stuff for others or like thinking, are they going to hate me? That's not a good use of your time. Have respect for yourself. Have self-assuredness behind you. I'm going to pull one card to further get like some clarity on this message. Oh, okay. You have a white Tara. its sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. What did I tell you? There's some people around you, maybe they're just used to you surrendering to them and just being like, okay, I'm not gonna fight. I'll do what you want. And it's okay to have been timid, past tense, now that you know. And chances are this reading is not the only point that you've come in contact with this, right? You probably have come across that before. Or people have told you, you may not have taken it well, but like, even you've told yourself or berated yourself at certain points, I'm too easy, right? It's time to take stock, really, and take action because each day of our life needs to matter. We're here on this plane, like not plane as an aeroplane, but like plane of existence to learn something, to accomplish something. And each day needs to be oriented towards that, you know? It's you have a purpose as much as other people. You deserve to take up space too. And once you have fulfillment, you'll be able to align with people in a way that feels good to you? Oh, there's another card that I pulled. Cordelia, go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. There's a need for freshness in your life. Declutter, get some freshness, throw a bunch of stuff out, throw a bunch of people out. Their perspectives are not adding to you. You are strong enough to go at it. Um, Alone if you need to before you figure out what you want, get your life together, and it will eventually lead you somewhere that's extremely rewarding. And I don't mean that just in material terms, because coins here tomorrow, not there the other day, but like I'm talking about like a joy of experiencing connection with the universe, not just with another person. By the way, the other person that comes in your life is also a manifestation of the abundance of the world, right? It takes one specific form or like, sorry, I knocked the undying love card from the other pile. Maybe that's a message too for someone. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, so that romantic partner is probably like one manifestation of the abundance of the world, right? Another manifestation of it would be like a really good teacher that you have. They represent the generosity of the universe condensed in a different form, and that person has a different relationship to you. But at the core of all of this, at the center, is this thread that connects you to some higher power, right? And that higher power, sometimes like chess pieces, it moves certain elements forward in your life, takes some back. But what you never lose is the immaterial, subtle consciousness. You can never lose that. So just take reassurance in that aspect of knowing all of this, and definitely go outside, okay, and set those boundaries. Maybe you need to set boundaries with yourself too. Like, what are you doing with your time? What are you putting in your body? And what are you listening to? Are you just watching like true crime or something? Nothing bad about that, but consider if that's affecting you negatively. It does say that you're becoming like sensitive, and just try it out. Just be curious and lead with curiosity, and do experiments to see how you feel about something, and really pay attention to what your inner being is hinting at, okay? That's where a lot of the gold is. Okay, with that, I'm going to conclude this pile. Hopefully, this was fun for everybody and useful.